All right, let's go over Flynn's training so that way we can stay consistent at home. We want to make sure we reinforce and reward the behaviors that we want to keep seeing, or whenever he's following our commands. Then, whenever he's doing things that we don't really want to see, or he's not listening to our commands, we want to make sure we follow through with our training equipment. So, let's go over Flynn's training equipment. This is his prong collar. He's going to wear this whenever he is on a leash. How we take this on and off is you're just going to secure one of the links and push it through like so. And then to put it back together, we're just going to pinch one of the prongs and put it through the holes of the other link. Then whenever he has this on, the leash is going to attach to the D-ring that swivels. Then how we use this, say he's in the heel position. Heel just means walk next to me on a nice loose leash. Say he's starting to pull ahead or he's not really where we want him. We're going to say no to verbally mark the incorrect behavior, give him a pop, and then remind him heel. So no, pop, heel. So it's more of a pop and release and not a pull and hold motion. And then, of course, whenever he gets back into that position and where we want him, we can give him that verbal praise, petting, and treats to let him know he's doing a good job. Now let's go over his e-collar, how we turn this on. Red dot on the collar, red dot on the remote. We just touch these together. This turns on the collar. Green light flashing means it's on, charged, and ready to go. On and off button on the back of the remote. We're just going to push and hold till the screen lights up. Level 25 is going to be on the screen. And then we're going to focus on the black S button. S just stands for stimulation, so it's kind of like an electric muscle stimulator. So say he's in that heel position and he's not really where we want him. We're going to say no to mark the incorrect behavior. Black S button, heel. No, button, heel. And then, of course, whenever he gets back into the position of where we want him, we can give him that verbal praise, petting, and treats to let him know he's doing a good job. So depending on the level of distraction that Flynn has, we might use one of these, we may use both of these. It just depends on the situation that we are in. Then with the remote, we want to put this on first thing in the morning, and then it's going to be the last thing that we take off at night. So this way we always have that form of communication with Flynn throughout the day. So now that we've kind of gone over the heel, whenever you take him out for walks, about 80 to 90% of the walk should be in the heel position. The other 10 to 20%, you can give him the release word free. Free just means he's not in any set command and he can go explore and sniff on his own. We're going to follow him around rather than him following us around. Let's move on to sit. Sit means stay is implied until he gets that release word free. This is really good for those door manners. So whenever we approach a door, he doesn't have the option to bolt through it. Whenever we approach the door, we're just going to have him sit. As we're opening the door, we can remind Flynn to sit because opening that door is a big distraction. So we remind him sit. Then we have the option to either heel through the door with him or give him the release word free and have him go through the door on his own. If he sits and he stays, that's perfect. If not, we're going to follow through with our training equipment until he gets it right. So this way, he has the same boundaries set at home that we have here at the facility. And then let's move on to down. Down means lay down and stay until given that release word free. With the down, we don't want to call him from a distance because if we call him from a distance, he's getting rewarded for getting up and coming to us and not staying in that down stay. So say we do a little bit of a distraction, we're going to go back to him and reward him and then release him from where he is. Whenever we reward this behavior, we want to reward low to the ground. So this way he knows that the positive zone is going to be low to the ground. And let's move on to place. Place is a boundary state, ideally on an elevated bed. This is going to be a great command to use whenever you take him to work, so he has his own little area to hang out in and do his own thing while everything else in the store is going on. With place, as long as all 4 feet are on the bed, he is on there. So he can sit, lay down, roll over, whatever. As long as all 4 feet are on the boundary, he is on place. So with place, we're going to reward on the bed. So this way he knows that the positive zone is the place bed or the boundary that he is on. Also with place, we're not going to release him from a distance because then we are rewarding him for getting up and coming to us. We want to make sure we go back to him and release him from where he is. Whenever you first practice this, I suggest having a leash on him, whether it is at work or at home, just so you have a way to guide him back to the bed if he does get up. So this way you have that form of communication with him. And then we have come when called. This is whenever we do this, we want to give him the release word free and have him get distracted because whenever we are going to need him to come back to us, it's going to be whenever he's doing his own thing, not in that sit, stay waiting for us to call him to us. So we're going to give him that release word free, have him get distracted. Whenever we call him to us, we're going to praise him as he's coming to us and back up, and then have him sit and then give him the reward. So if he does it, great. If not, say we call him to us and he doesn't listen to us, we're going to say no, come, call him again. Whenever he comes to us, we are still going to reward him because we want him to know that coming to us is always going to be a positive. So we don't want to correct him out here. And then whenever he gets to us, we're not going to correct him again. We want to make sure that coming to us has a positive association. So every time we practice this command, we want to make sure we reward this command. Then we have leave it. Leave it just means don't grab that. So practice with dog safe foods to start out with. Whenever you toss something on the ground, you're just going to say leave it. If he does, great. If not, follow through with the training equipment. Ideally, have a leash on him to begin with. This way, you have a way to guide him into a new scenario if needed. So that is all of Flynn's commands. So we're going to reinforce and reward the behaviors that we want to keep seeing. And then those behaviors that we don't want to see, we want to make sure that we follow through the training equipment so we can decrease those behaviors and then make sure that we really reward those behaviors that we want to keep seeing. So have fun, stay consistent. This is going to be Flynn doing his commands.
Down. Good down. 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 Good down. Good down. Good down. Good down. Good down. Down. Free. Boy.
All right, let's go over the other features of the remote. Now that we already know how to turn it on, we're going to go over how to turn it off. So the red dots, we're going to push them together. This turns off the color. How we turn off the remote, you're just going to hold that on and off button on the back until the screen says off and goes blank. So I'm going to turn it back on, then we're going to go over the rest of the buttons on the remote. So this red S button is a boost feature on the remote. So if Flynn decides he wants to do something dangerous like running out into the street or starts chasing a car, we have this red S button. So right now his level is at 25. This is going to boost it up to 45. So say he's in that dangerous situation and his adrenaline is up here. Well, level 25 only reaches about here. So whenever he's in that adrenaline state of mind, we need a level that's going to match him. So this red S button gives us that communication with Flynn whenever he is doing that dangerous activity, whenever his adrenaline is up. So say he goes out and chases a car, you're just going to say no, red S button, so we can communicate with him whenever his adrenaline is very high. Then on the other side of the remote, we have a T button. T is just a vibrate. We use this so we can make sure that the collar is on and working, and you can also use it whenever he's further in his training and he knows the boundaries, kind of just like a warning, like, hey, knock it off. He doesn't really need the stem, but he needs something to remind him, like, hey, that's not what we want. On the back of the remote, there is an M/C button. This just stands for momentary or continuous. At the beginning of Flynn's training, we started out on continuous at a very low level to introduce the remote to him. And then we switch over to momentary, and that is where he's going to stay throughout the rest of his training. So you don't have to worry about that button. Then there is a flashlight feature on the collar. If you push the on and off button, once it's going to be a flashing light. Push it twice, it's going to be a steady light. Push it the third time, it turns the flashlight off. This is really good for whenever you let Flynn out at night so that you have a way to see him. So right now, Flynn's level is at 25. Whenever Flynn goes out in public, he needs a little bit of a higher level because of all the distractions that are going on. So right now he's on 25. This is really good for whenever he is in the home or in those less distracting areas. So whenever he is out in public, he's going to need a little bit of like 30 to a 35. So how we change his level, you're just going to push down on this dial until the 1D flashes. Whenever it starts flashing, we can change it to whatever level we want. So you notice that 25 just isn't, he's not responding to it, we can move it up. Or if you notice that 25 is just a little much, you can change it back down. So now I'm just going to lock it at 35. And how we lock it is you're just going to hold down on the dial again until that 1D at the top stops flashing. Both the remote and collar are rechargeable. There is the charging port on the remote, and the charging port on the collar is right here. They last for about 2 days if he wears it for about 12 to 14-hour days. So if you charge it every other night, it should be good. And it does come with a dual charger, so you can charge them at the same time. Then Flynn kind of has thicker hair. So if you notice that his prongs aren't making good contact on his neck, there are longer prongs in here in the tool to remove them. If you notice it's not making good contact, but we haven't had an issue here, so I don't think that you guys are going to need that. Then at the bottom of the box, there is a manual to go over any of the other features of the remote that you are unsure of. The collar is also waterproof, so if he does get it wet, it's not a big deal. Just if he's going to stay wet, make sure you rotate the collar around so it doesn't irritate one side of his neck, so he gets better connection on the other side as well. And then there is a 2-year warranty. Here's all the information. If you have any problems with the remote or anything, you can contact the company and they should be able to send you another one or get you something squared away to get it fixed. So that is all of the extra features of the remote. So have fun, stay consistent.